hello there. I am Taylor, and you are listening to the Surviving Maine Podcast Deep-Dive interview series. About over a year ago now, I spoke with most of the cast of Surviving Maine Season 4, just weeks after they played the game. So these interviews are untainted by the edited show. It's just how each player remembers their game, what was important to them, what were their favorite moments, what are their regrets. These interviews I've been doing since season 2, and they're just kind of a way for the players to have a cathartic expression of their game without having had to see themselves on screen. So they sometimes don't know what other players were thinking or saying about them. In many cases, they've already spoken with all the other players in the game, so they know quite a bit more than what they knew when they were initially voted out. But what matters is that they have a record of their game and how they think they did in their game. So my third interview is with the mob boss of Maine, Sandra. Sandra, hello. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
I'm good. And you are decent because you went pretty far in the game, but not. Did you know what? Did you go the same that you went in Outlast?
No, I went a little bit further.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was right before merge, I felt like.
Yeah. Yeah. In both, it was right before, but I went I think it was an extra vote or something. But even still, even I did so much better in this game, I feel than in Outlast. I don't even care that it was, it's just I played such a better game that I'm still happy.
That's what I heard, and I'm really happy to hear that. I was so happy to hear it. People were like, Sandra's a threat. And I was like, yes, she is.
I know.
God damn it.
I can't believe
it. So, usually when I do these post-game interviews, I've been there the whole time. I saw the whole game play out. I was recording confessionals, and this time I know nothing other than what other production people have told me. And I have some notes on the order that some things happened, but there's a ton that I don't know. So I won't have as many questions as I usually have, but I mean, I'm gonna have questions, obviously,
okay.
But I know less, so I can usually I help people remember things that they've forgotten, because if you're playing, it's really easy to forget. If you're an outsider watching,
especially at my age, I forget within an hour.
So let's start with the moment you arrive on the event location, and what are you thinking? What are you doing?
Oh gosh, well, I was frazzled because I got lost.
Oh no, that's easy to do out there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's Liza had sent us, instructions, take this exit because the road was closed.
Oh shit.
So every time I tried to take the exit, Waze would have me get back on the highway and go back to the exit that we were supposed. I was going in circles. So I was late, but not that late, 4 minutes. But so I get to the location, and funny story because this will come out later. They check your bags and whatever, and I asked Liza if I could bring my chapstick because I get blisters on my lips, from the sun, and I didn't want to, look like I have herpes. I didn't want blisters on my lips.
Yeah.
So I'm can I bring this? I use it for the sunblock. Wasn't even chapstick. It was sunblock for your lips. And she's like, yeah, you can bring it. And I'm okay. So I stick it in my bag. So we all go and sit down, and you're scoping out. A lot of people had on the same color shirt because it was 3 shades of blue, I feel like. And so I had on a royal blue shirt, and I feel like a lot of people had royal blue on, but they had a different color bag, flat, like tag on their bag. So, you're trying to figure out who's on your team and I immediately saw Allison, who I played Outlast with. So I was like, yeah, I was so excited. But we weren't on the same tribe, but I was just happy to see a familiar face. And there was a few familiar faces I saw that I just saw from watching
Mm-hmm.
the LRGs, but I didn't know personally. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so you're just trying to, assess your competition.
Yeah. Who else did you recognize from other games? Were you like intimidated, or did you know like, ooh, that's somebody to watch out for?
No, I'll tell you, there was a lot of people that had never, well, they said they never played, but
Yeah.
I don't think they ever played. I saw Zach
Oh yeah, yeah.
from Millennium Park,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew he had played with Eric, who played in Outlast. So
Oh,
I was actually happy, but there was nobody that I was like intimidated by. I don't know, because
good.
I didn't really know them yet. I try not to judge a book by its cover, and I didn't really. Just Zach and Allison, I think, were the only two people that I actually recognized from other games that I can think of. Oh no, I'm sorry. Dave from
Dave, yeah.
Angelica.
I was wondering.
Yes, so
Okay,
I did,
he's played so many, right?
yeah, I did recognize him. And I thought if he's on my tribe, I'm definitely going to try and connect, but he wasn't.
Right.
No,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you know that Allison was going to be playing, or were you
no
surprised to
idea. No idea. Yeah, that
get?
was definitely a nice surprise.
Yeah, when I did my interviews and um interviewed her first, and then later, like a couple days later, I interviewed you, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Sandra, she's gonna know Allison, this is great. But you guys never
Yeah,
really
yeah.
got to work with each other, I don't think.
No, she came over on a tribe swap, but I was at Exile on Outlast. Um, and then yeah, she got voted out like the next vote. That so I
Yeah.
didn't really get to work with her at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this first day full of challenges, full of idols. Let's talk about that. One of the first thing that happens, right, is um before you find your idol, one of the first things that happens is Eliza is like, there's an idol out in the field. And it looked like
Oh
you
yeah.
started to run and then you were like, nope, not gonna do that. What was going through your head?
So at first I'm like, is everybody gonna run? And then so I was just like, well, I might as well run. Everybody else is running. But then I noticed no one on my tribe was running. So I said, no. I'm like, if nobody on my tribe is running, I'm not going because I didn't want to put a target on my back. And then it was such a hesitation that I knew there was no way I was going to catch anybody anyways. So I'm
Mhm.
like, why even bother? I'll let someone else, someone else is going to get there first. So it was definitely when I saw nobody running from my tribe, I was like, yeah,
Yeah. Good
yeah.
call. Good call. What were you thinking about the people? Like it was like four women ended up going. What did you guys talk about like while they were running? Like, what are these idiots doing? Or like anything?
Yeah, a few of us, I think it was Zach and Lauren, we were talking about how well how that was just going to put a target on their back. Like that, and that was why we didn't run, and that we made a good decision to just let them, run, someone get the idol, and that's probably going to be the person that gets the first vote,
Yeah.
assuming they go to tribal. So we just discussed how that was probably a dumb move by everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So anything else you want to talk about before we get to the second challenge where you find something?
Um, what was the first? See, I don't even. What was the first challenge? Was
Let
that?
me look at these notes that I got from someone. Oh, you're tied together in pairs,
Oh yes.
blindfolded.
Okay. Yep. That was that. Yeah, we actually. Well, I think we won like majority of them, but
Blue tribe. Yeah, you
um,
kept winning, right?
yes, Sebago. Yeah, I was tied to Madison, and we worked really well together. But everybody was like, in out, in out. It was just like a But yeah, we did well on that challenge. That's right. That was a fun
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah. What did you think about your tribe initially when you all met?
Those were very quiet, and that's what made it hard for me because you don't want to be you want to be involved, but you don't want to be a leader,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody was talking. Like, I know Seth, and I believed him when he said, like, he never watched Survivor because he really didn't know anything. And I don't think Madison was extremely quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lauren was a talker, and then Adam, but yeah, nobody was talking about anything. So I kind of, me being the quiet one, um, me and Zach kind of like took control of the tribe. I don't want to say control, but we did all the talking. And that was when, him and I were like, oh, I've seen you on Millennial. Oh, I saw you on Outlast, Eric.
Okay.
So we're like, I got good vibes about you. So we immediately formed an alliance, him and I. And then I'm like, we need to grab someone else. So we grabbed Adam as
Uh-huh.
well. But yeah, I didn't want to be that vocal person that was telling people what to do because I feel like that's what happened with Kim on Outlast. Like she was such a leader and like,
Mm-hmm.
more or less telling people how to vote and what to do. And she was good at it though, but I didn't want to be that person because that's why
Yeah.
she had a target on her back and almost went home, So it's like, but nobody was talking about anything, where to sleep or when to make the fire or,
Did that
so.
change? So I know a lot, you had like over 3 hours where Lauren wasn't there, and Lauren's a big talker, from what I
Yes,
hear.
it's
So do you think that what things would have been different if she had not been the one chosen to go on that journey?
probably, yeah. I mean, Lauren's name came up immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for her that we kept winning because we had discussed if we had to vote someone out, it would be Lauren. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Lauren. Um, and it was only because of the journey. Because, spoiler alert, um, everyone that went on the journey ended up being like
The
first people
first
to
up.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it would have been the same with Sebago too. So I'm glad we didn't have to vote her out. But it was only because, is she telling the truth? And it turns out she was telling the truth, but I didn't believe her because I just feel like
Really?
everybody lies in the game.
Oh
But
no. What do you think
yeah,
would be a reason to lie about that?
um, because they're gonna think you have an idol.
Yeah.
We thought she may have an advantage or an idol. So when she came back and was like, I didn't even play because I didn't want an advantage. I didn't want the idol. I didn't want to put that target on my back. Well, of course you're going to say that. You would say that if you have the idol because you don't want us to know you have the idol. So I was like, is she telling the truth? So Zach was like, yeah, she could be lying. And Adam was like the only one, no, I think she's telling the truth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
There's no winning. There's just no winning if you go on the
no,
journey with the short amount of time in a 4-day game. You're just
yeah,
totally fucked if you go on that journey.
yeah, yeah, because you're damned if you tell the truth. Like she really didn't play, come to find out. And, you know, it's just how do you know?
Yeah.
Like when I went on Exile and Outlast, I lied about it. Jazzy was the only one to pick up on it. But I didn't want people to know I had an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about your advantage then.
Yes.
You're in this challenge. Walk me through what happens. What do you see? What's going on?
Oh my gosh. And it was a perfect challenge to find it because everybody was so busy looking at the memory puzzle that nobody was looking down where I found it, because they were looking at trying to memorize the pieces on a puzzle we're putting together or whatever. So I was probably like the fifth person to go down there. And during Outlast, I never looked for idols during a challenge, because I never thought about it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know why. Like, you're just so wrapped up in the game being your first game that I didn't even think about those things. Even though I knew they were out there, it's like you're just so excited to play that I never bothered. This time around, I looked no matter where I was looking. Like I was looking in the hay bales, I was looking in the water jug, I was looking everywhere. So when I went running, I feel like I was looking down so I didn't fall, because like the ground's so unlevel. And the idol was right behind the board where we had to look at these shapes. They were shapes of lakes and they all friggin' looked the same. And, like we're like, okay, the camel is facing the left. Like it was just weird. So we're all trying to like, one person called one a penis. Like it was just like, it was like crazy. Like you had to like, kind of relate it to something that it looks like.
Yeah.
But when I was running at the same time as Allison. So ironically, so we run together and she's trying to tell me like who she's aligning with and what we're doing. And we're like, we're going to work together at the merge. Yes. And so we're running and talking at the same time. And then she got to the board before me and she ran around the front. And just as I was about to run around the front, I see it like on the back. So it was perfect. When I bent down to look at the pieces, I just grabbed it and I put it in my pocket. She didn't see it. Nobody on my tribe saw it because they were like way down the other end looking at the memory pieces. And yeah, it was perfect. But then of course I'm like, did anybody see? Did anybody see? And I'm like making sure you couldn't see the bulge in my pants, like from on the side of my leg. So yeah, it was so exciting. And then I couldn't read it though. I'm like, it is an idol, right? So then I'm like, when am I going to read it? So then I go in the outhouse, the little porta potties there. And Madison was in the other one. And I'm like, can she hear me unwrapping? Like, am I taking too long? It's like, yeah, it was just really exciting.
Paranoia. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That seems to be the place where most people open their idols is in the porta potties.
Right. I'm like, don't drop it in.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what happens then? You guys win again. You won that challenge where you found the idol. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. We won again. And then of course, like the dilemma is because I went in like, I'm not telling anybody. If I find an idol, I'm not telling anybody. And of course, that was still my plan. And I didn't end up telling anybody, but this close so many times. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll tell Zach or maybe I'll tell Adam. And I came so close and I'm so glad I didn't. But
are you glad you didn't? What do you think things could, because you were on a swap tribe, but you were with Zach and Adam on that swap tribe, right? When you got voted out?
Is no. So Zach, no.
Oh, that's right. Zach was on.
I was in the majority.
Yeah.
Seth flipped.
Wow. I know. I talked to him yesterday.
Oh my God. I love him though. He's such a nice guy. And I get it. I get why he flipped. But yeah, so I came this close to playing it. But I know we're like jumping, but like going over it again in my head. I'm like, oh. Yeah, so I think I did good because come to find out, Adam wasn't being completely honest with me, and because so Zach went to the other tribe with Lauren, and then it was me, Adam, Madison, and Seth.
Right.
And before the swap, the Sebago tribe talked, and we were like, we're staying strong, like no matter what, like whoever's in the majority, just vote the others out, pick them off. Like that's what we got to do. And right before the swap, no, it was after the swap. I don't remember, but like Liza had an idol at the table. And, oh, that's right. It was pre-swap. And I think it was Zach who saw it, or maybe it was Madison. I don't remember. And they were
Madison
like,
tried to get it.
Idol.
Yeah, and she couldn't.
Oh, yeah. Madison tried to get it and she couldn't get it. And I'm like, well, someone just go grab it. I'm like, because if we're doing swap, whoever's in the minority can have the idol.
Mm-hmm.
And at least they'll be, whoever's like going to be voted off will play for that person. And that's when Zach, I think it was Zach, just went up and grabbed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when they ended up, him and Lauren ended up in the minority, we're like, you guys take the idol, keep each other safe. Well, good that did, but so I don't even know what happened there, but yeah, so keep each other safe. And then we were in the majority and we were just like, all right, we're just going to pick them off, but then my heart got in the way and I, started voting with my heart because of wait, I always mess up her name. Amelia, right?
I think
Amelia?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an Amelia. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I started voting with my heart and then
I need to hear more about that. But first, is there anything else from day one or day two before the swap that you think is important or that happened off camera that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think yeah, just Zach, Adam, and I made a 3-person alliance.
Yes.
And yeah, I didn't Lauren had said she never played a game and then come to find out. Oh, that was another thing. I think another reason why Lauren was her name came up because not knowing that I was aligned with Zach, she came up to me and said, if we go to vote, we need to vote out Zach. He played a game before.
Oh,
and
no.
so I looked, yeah, and I looked at it, I go, well, I played a game before too. So are you going to vote me out? And she's like, oh, you did? And then she's like, no, no, no. It just seems like he's more strategic or something. He's very strategic. And I'm like, okay. So that kind of put her even higher on the, like, okay, yeah, we need to get her out. And then come to find out she's played a game before.
Yes.
So I thought that was funny, which I had no idea she played before.
That is funny.
Mm.
And she played with Dave too.
Oh, did she really? That's so funny. Yeah, I had no idea. Oh, the other thing is too, me and Allison had sat out. I think this was the first day. We sat out a challenge. Oh, the tug of war. Was that first day?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think it was because we were still Sebago. And so we sat out on the bench and I think I misunderstood what Allison was telling me. And that probably screwed me up too, because we were talking about who we were aligning with. And I said, Zach. And she's like, did you tell anybody we knew each other? And I said, no, I haven't told anybody. And she goes, okay, well, I told Dave. And so if we make it to merge, we can work together. And, it's me and Dave. And she's like, TJ, I thought she told me TJ, she told TJ, but I come to find out it was TJ knew or something. Yeah. So I thought she was aligned with TJ. So that kind of but even from day one, the Sebago tribe wanted TJ out. Like he was like, we want him out. Because he had like a weird, well, Lauren was like, he looks at me creepy. So we were like, okay, he's got creepy eyes. Like, so we were just like, all right, he's going. So he was
poor TJ. Poor TJ.
I know.
A lot of people said things. Yeah. He just has that like clean cut, like a mannequin almost.
Yes. Yep. It is. It is.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
In hindsight, I wish I actually worked with TJ, but.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Because you're on a swap tribe with him or no?
I am on a swap tribe.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's get into the swap, unless there's anything else from before.
I don't think so.
Okay. So the swap happens and you have 4 of your originals.
Yeah.
Plus TJ, Callie.
No, TJ, Amelia, and Shaylee.
TJ and Shaylee, yes. And then Amelia. Yeah, so I'm super interested because so then you guys lose this next challenge, right? At the swap?
I think so. Yes.
Here's my other notepad. Okay.
Unless it was Lauren that went home first. I think Lauren.
No, it was not.
It was Shaylee first. Okay. Yeah.
So I want to know what was going on that you all decided to vote out. Oh, so TJ goes on the journey, right? Is that true?
No, I don't think there was another journey, but it was Allison.
She's
What
not
other
on that
journey?
tribe with you. I think it was TJ. I
Oh, was it Oh, maybe it was TJ. Okay.
think so.
Maybe it was TJ. I forgot there was another journey.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that too.
Oh,
Swap.
yeah. Yeah, he wanted
Allison and
us to
TJ.
believe he had an. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I was right.
Yeah.
Woo.
I was semi right. I had I knew Allison right
But see, Sandra, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you guys forget everything because you're just like absorbed in it.
in the
And
moment.
yeah. So I'm glad I have
Hmm.
these notes from dear
Me
Addison.
too.
Okay. So Allison and TJ go on the journey, and then this is after you lose. Yes. And then
Hmm.
um he
We
TJ
were
loses
voting TJ.
TJ loses his vote. And while he's gone, what is the conversation going on there?
That we were voting TJ. I mean,
Okay.
no, it was 100% TJ. Sebago had talked about voting TJ out if we ever had the chance or a swap or
Right.
whatever. And TJ knew it. Like he came back and he's like, he knew he was going home, like, or thought he was going home.
Mm-hmm.
100%. And he's just, trying to like, oh, I'll work with you. Like, I have no connections, which they all say. And this is the funny thing is I feel like I got blamed for all of these moves, but it was Adam. Like I wish I could even take credit for it. But like Adam, I mean, him and I always discussed it, but it was always like his idea, because I wanted TJ out. And actually, you know what? I think Shaylee might have been Madison, might have said, shit. No, I'm sorry. It was Adam because he said, I think we need to vote Shaylee because Madison and Shaylee are getting way too close.
Yeah.
That's what it
Okay.
was. Um, and that's why, and then Madison ended up just agreeing with us. So I mean, I don't know how close they could have been, but he's like, we should, we have the numbers. We can get TJ out next time. Just get Shaylee out now. This was Adam telling me, get
Mm-hmm.
Shaylee out now before she gets too close to Madison. Because they were the two like really young ones. And so they
Yep.
really had, a lot in common. So I'm like, that's fine. I didn't at that point I didn't care. And I didn't know Allison was actually, if I had known Allison was tight with Shaylee, I would have never voted out Shaylee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's what messed me up too. I thought she was tighter with TJ. So I
Oh.
was like,
Oh.
all right. So I was like kind of back and forth.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's why we voted out Shayla. But it was so funny because Tribal's like, TJ was like,
Yeah.
I'm going, and talking, he was like, I'm going, Sandra. Blah, blah, blah. I just need to say, like, I can't remember what he said, but I was like, just wait for the vote, just gotta see. Like, and yeah, he almost had a heart attack when he found out it wasn't him.
So that was Adam's plan. And then did all of you, like Seth and Madison and you, so it was 4-3 or 4-2?
Amelia voted Shaylee as well. Oh
You
no,
guys
I'm
told her?
sorry. Amelia voted TJ because we were going back and forth. And at that point, was that before Amelia got sick?
Amelia got sick.
Yeah, that was the
Oh, the spool challenge. Yeah, on the spool challenge. Yeah, that was that challenge.
okay.
Hmm.
This is what that was. Okay. No, I think it was after because otherwise,
The spool challenge was this one. You guys lose. Amelia almost passes out. Challenge has to stop. You guys lose. The journey happens, and then you guys go to tribal, and Shaylee gets voted.
okay. Okay. So all right, yeah. So TJ was throwing out Amelia's name, obviously, because she was not well. She almost passes out. So Amelia, we were trying to reassure Amelia. We're like, don't worry about it. It's not you. I loved her. She's so sweet. And I was like, we're not going to vote you, I promise. And it was like pulling at my heartstrings because that was a hard challenge, that school thing, and she was the only one to volunteer.
Mm.
It's hot as hell, like you're baking in the sun. I think, it was probably hard not to pass out. I wouldn't even be able to attempt it. So I kept reassuring her, Amelia, don't worry about it. I promise you, we're voting TJ, voting TJ. And then Adam switches it to Shaylee. And I'm like, Amelia's never going to believe me. Because like we kept going back and forth. So I'm like, just keep it. I'm just going to make her think TJ. I'll explain later. I'll explain it to her later. We have the votes for Shaylee. So we'll vote Shaylee. And so we knew Amelia was voting TJ. So we still knew we had the votes for Shaylee, but I felt so bad for Amelia that I couldn't vote her on. I'm like, what? Because she's almost passes out on that school challenge. Like that was a hard challenge. And that's one thing I liked about our tribe is like we didn't hold anyone responsible, if you didn't do well, because you think you're good at something and it's just a totally different when you go to do it, the pressure it gets to you, it's harder than you think. But I did kill the puzzles. I will say that the first day. I forgot to say that part.
Very nice. Okay. So
so
this is like middle of the day or it's getting close to nighttime.
Yeah, I felt like it was middle because it was hot. Like it was it was really hot.
Middle of the day. Okay. So then you have another immunity challenge and you win that one. Yes, because then there's like
Lauren goes home.
Yeah, Lauren goes home. So when you come back for that immunity challenge at the fire making one that night, what did you know happened and what did you think was happening with Lauren being voted out?
Okay, so we were totally wrong with what we thought. Like we thought that I'm like, well, maybe Zach, we thought that maybe Zach didn't know, or Zach played it for himself because they said they were voting Zach and then they voted Lauren. That's what we thought happened.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't save her, because it was supposed to be like whoever was getting the votes. And then when I end up talking to Lauren later, she's like, no, he voted for me. And I'm like, wow. But before I even knew that, because this is as a tribe, when we found out Lauren went home, we just couldn't figure it out. And we were like, what the hell happened? That really sucks, because they had the idol. And we just figured like maybe they were just like, they were fooled, they just didn't tell them. That's what we thought. So then at that point, then we go into the fire making challenge. It's so hard to remember because I feel like so I know at one point before the fire making challenge, Madison was throwing out my name to Shaylee.
To Shaylee.
Yeah, that was to Shaylee.
Shaylee told you that?
I think Amelia told me that.
Okay.
I think Amelia might have told me that.
Interesting.
And then I went to Adam and I wish I could remember. I don't even remember, but I don't think Shaylee told me that. I think it was Amelia that told me that. And then I asked Adam and Adam said, yeah, she was, so then he came up with maybe we, next vote. This was after Shaylee. We should get Madison out, because if she's throwing out your name now, she's definitely going to flip if she makes it to merge. And I'm like, and I was against it. I was like, no, we got to keep the numbers strong. Let's just make it to merge. I was like, I didn't want to do it. And
wow.
And then he came up with this thing and he's like, okay, well, it's either Madison or TJ. And I said, yeah, I think it should be TJ. We need to get TJ out. I wanted to vote TJ. And he's like, well, how do we decide? We should make it a last minute decision, because we were afraid if we told Seth that he would tell Madison.
Because Madison and Seth were a little tighter.
Yeah, I thought, but Seth said no. But
he lied to you. He lied to you.
See, they were tighter, right?
They were. I don't know if he even knew that, but they were. They were up there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So Adam came up with this thing, like he's like, all right, well, when we go to vote, if I have my buff up top, we're voting Madison.
Holy
If
shit.
I put it around my neck, it's TJ. Or maybe I came up with that, but we were trying to think of something to do. So right before tribal, he was like, okay, he puts it on. How does my buff look? And I'm like, I can't freaking remember. Is that Madison or TJ? Like at that point, I was like, I don't even remember who I'm supposed to be voting. So, yeah, we told, I think it was TJ, yeah, TJ and Amelia on the way to tribal council that we were voting Madison, like literally like
Wow.
5 feet before we got there. So that then Madison wouldn't know.
Wow. So that definitely was not on camera that you told them, right?
No, because they thought we were voting TJ, I guess. Yeah. And TJ thought we were voting Amelia, but the last second, like we were like at the porta potties. We were like, nope, we're gonna do Madison because she threw out my name.
Okay. So Madison goes home that night. It's like 1 a.m. And you guys have to go.
The fire tribal?
Yeah.
Was that the fire thing?
Seth.
Oh, so I went out of order.
Yeah.
Well, the fire tribal, confidence got the better of us. We were like, we got this. Like, there's no way we're losing. And it just goes to show you, like, when you are good at something, when you get under pressure, because that's a firefighter. Like, he knows how to. He was like freaking lighting fires left and right, but then when the pressure's on, it's a lot harder to do.
It sure is. Okay. So you make it to the 3rd morning. There's some immunity challenge. So what goes on that night? Like, does Seth make it clear at all that he's mad about Madison? Like, what's going on that night?
Yeah, he wasn't happy. So we went back to camp and he immediately goes in to lay down, like, because we had the fire out of the woods, and then like we were laying down in the woods. And then he went, like, wasn't talking to anybody. And I looked at Adam, I'm like, we got to talk to him. I'm like, because we totally left him out of the vote. And I was afraid that was going to happen. And I said that to Adam too. I'm like, well, I don't know if we probably should tell him, because that's going to be a trust thing. Like, how is he going to trust us? And, but if he was as close with that Madison as I thought, then it was probably a good idea we didn't. But yeah, so he wouldn't talk to anybody. And then I don't even know at what point I went up to him and I was just like, listen, like, it was last minute, and it was last minute. It was exactly when Adam put his buff on his forehead. And I said, we didn't want it to get back to Madison. And, we really thought you guys were really tight. And so I just told him the truth. I said, and we were afraid you'd tell her. And this kind of hurt me, but he said, it just tugged at the heartstrings, because he goes, I thought you and I were tight. And I was like, sorry. Yeah. So he's like, I wouldn't have told her. And so I don't know if he would have or not. It's like, you don't know. He may have.
Yeah.
So
he must have really been hurt if he thought he was close to you, or maybe he was trying to make you feel guilty. I don't know. He didn't say much in his interview, but
okay.
So I have no idea. But I mean, So it makes sense that he would want some revenge if he feels personally hurt by you, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, it wasn't even my idea. It was Adam's idea. Like, why wasn't Adam on the block?
Well, did you tell us?
You know what? No, because I talked as a we. I'm like, we, which is probably a mistake. But I just kept saying, we decided. Like, I never said it was my idea or Adam's idea. I just said we. And
because you want to take credit for things, and you don't know whether telling someone, oh, it was this guy's idea, either that could make you seem less powerful, and
right,
or it could take the blame off you.
Right.
You don't know.
And I don't know. Like, I mean, I definitely wanted to vote Madison out because she did throw out my name. And so I didn't trust her. So, I mean, her name definitely came up, but it was definitely Adam's final say because he's the one that put the buff on his forehead. So I do feel like it was a joint decision, but he definitely made the final call.
Yeah.
But maybe Seth did feel closer to me, so he was more hurt by me, like not telling him.
Could be, yeah.
And also the fact that TJ wanted me out so bad that my name was always like Sandra, Sandra,
Really?
Sandra.
Why did TJ want you
yeah.
out so bad?
You know, I don't know. Maybe because he knew I wanted him out. I have no idea why. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna ask him. But yeah, so and the thing is, I thought we had Amelia, like, because I mean, 3 votes. We kept telling Amelia, this is who we're voting for, because she kept thinking we were going to vote her out because she had gotten sick. I'm like, and I was honest with her, and because I truly meant it. I'm like, I had no intention of voting Amelia. Like, I wanted to work with her. So, and I gave her my word. And like, if I say you have my word, like, then it's true, but they don't know that. But I kept saying, promising her, I'm like, no, we're not voting you. Don't worry. 3 votes in a row. She knew, except for the TJ, she was a little off, but we were honest with her the whole time. So I really thought, okay, I'm building her trust. And it's funny because like she was the one on the bottom. And I should have picked this up, like everything like you think about afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's like, why didn't I pick this up? And TJ said at one point during Tribal, he's like, Sandra, I give you credit because like if you question something, you call me out. Like, if something didn't make sense, I'd be like, no, like in front of everybody. I'll be like, that doesn't make sense. Like, explain yourself. And so that was pretty funny. But at one point when we were discussing, and this was my vote, so like the one I got voted out. So we were all like scrambling who we're going to vote for. And Adam and I and Seth, yeah, because Adam, myself, Seth, TJ, and Amelia. And I thought we had Amelia. And I said, I assured Seth, I'm like, I am Sebago strong. The 3 of us talked about it. I'm like, Seth, you have my word. Sebago strong. I know we flipped on Madison, but she threw out one of our names. So like we felt we had to get her out. I said, but Sebago strong, 100%. Let's stick to each other. Yep. Seth promised us that he wasn't going to flip. I'm like, and if you do, just let me know so I'm not blindsided. Because I had the idol, but nobody knew that. So I was like, just let me know. Yep. So, and Adam didn't know, I guess, either. But at one point, Seth and TJ were talking. So I don't know, I think TJ went to the bathroom or something. So I looked at Seth and I go, what were you talking about? Did you tell him Amelia? And he goes, no, we were just talking about the challenges. Ooh. And I looked at him and I go, that doesn't make sense. I said, why would you be talking about challenges when we're getting ready for Tribal? I'm like, you didn't tell him Amelia? He goes, no, we didn't really talk about anyone. So I was like, all right, that doesn't make sense. And then TJ came and I go, what were you 2 talking about? He goes, oh, no, he told me to vote Amelia. And I go, okay. So I called Seth over.
Okay. So which one of you are lying?
Oh, what?
About your conversation over there.
Which conversation? Between
You told me nothing was talked about. You said you just checked about the challenges. And you didn't tell TJ anything. You said Amelia. You were told Amelia in that conversation.
Did he say Amelia?
You're not a good liar.
You're right. I'm not.
And then I give TJ credit. He goes, and so they both TJ was kind of smirking. I go, you don't have a liar face. I'm like, you are fucking lying. I'm like, I can see it. He's like, my God, you're good. I'm like, I'm a mother. I can see these things. And he's like, I said, I'm voting you. He's like, I'm voting for you. I said, all right, well, I appreciate your honesty. Wow. And then Seth didn't say anything. And I'm like hindsight, I'm like, why didn't I question Seth more? Right? Because it was clear he lied more, than TJ. And
Really?
I don't know, like, what?
Oh,
Over my head. I
yeah.
don't know, brain freeze. I'm like, what the F? I'm like, like now I see it. I'm like, why didn't I question him? And then the other thing with Amelia, she's like, so who we vote for? I go, TJ. Okay, well, I need to talk to TJ first. And that put me on alert. And I'm like, and I literally said to her, I said, why do you need to talk to TJ if we're voting TJ? I go, that doesn't make sense to me. And she's like, well, I just want to see where his head's at. I'm like, okay. Too confident. I got too confident.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
I can't believe
I got,
it. Those
yeah,
are
I
two
was too
huge
confident.
signs. You didn't even have to ask Seth. It's so clear, like when he lied, when someone in your alliance talks to someone not in your alliance, that person tells them they're voting you out, and then
I
he
know.
lies to you.
I know. I
Like,
so trusting. I know. I was so trusting because, like, then we're walking to tribal, and I'm like, "You guys were Sebago strong, right?" And Seth looked me in the eye. He's like, "Absolutely,
he's a good
absolutely,
liar.
voting TJ." And I don't know. He's such a nice guy that I didn't think he would do that. You know, like I really,
underestimated him. Yeah.
I did. I totally underestimated. I 100%. Like he deserved to make it as far as he did because
Yeah.
he just like he played me and he played me good. Like
Yeah.
did not expect it.
And Amelia, when you're voting someone out, that's the last person you want to talk to. Most people don't want it. They just avoid the person that they're going to be voting out. For her to be like, "Oh, I need to talk to TJ," that's so many red flags. And you were so confident. You had this. What is your biggest regret in the game? Not counting not playing your idol, because there's something bigger, I think.
Being stupid?
No.
No.
Move wise.
Okay, move. Oh, so many regrets. Well, not regrets. I don't even want to call them regrets, but like, we shouldn't have voted out Madison.
Exactly, Sandra. That is exactly correct. Yeah.
Yeah, we should not have voted out Madison.
That put you guys in a weak position because if you had an inkling that like you and Adam were a tight pair and Seth and Madison were a tight pair. If you go behind Seth's back and vote out his best ally, you're giving that 3-person against 2 a shot. Like you're giving that a shot. You're just opening the door. Yeah.
I know. Freaking Adam. This is Adam's fault.
That's what I'm saying. Adam's fault. The whole rest of the game, all Adam's fault. Let's talk about Adam because he lied to you too. What are your feelings about all that?
My God, I know, right? Yeah. And so, well, he didn't know I was being voted out.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'm like, did he? Because he told me like after the game that he didn't. Okay. So, yeah. And what's funny with that is right before the merge, before I got voted out, I'm like, all right, I should let Adam know that I know Allison because then we'll have Allison, Adam, Zach, me, and Dave. Like, that's perfect. And so I says, oh, Adam, I just want to let you know. I'm like, I know Allison on the other tribe. And I said, so, we'll have someone if, I literally said, when we make merge. And he's like, oh, cool. Never freaking mentioned anything about anybody. And like, after the fact, I'm like, you little weasel. I'm like, I opened up to you and you never, like, that would have been like his cue to be like, oh, that's good because I know Callie, or like, who else was left? I don't remember. Yeah, but
Topher, yeah.
Topher, yeah.
Do you have any opinions on all that and on these, 3 roommates and their other good friend all playing in a game together?
Well, don't you have to fill out your address on the forms?
Sandra, I have many opinions, as you know.
I almost spit out my water.
So I don't know how casting works. Did you write your address down?
It was on the form? I think I did. I think I did. But I'm not positive.
I assume Liza knew that it was 3 roommates, or maybe they used their parents' addresses. Who knows? It makes me
But what
upset.
are
Like,
the chances,
I
though,
was,
that they all get cast?
I know. It's hard to find people to play these games. So
Yeah,
sometimes everyone who applies just gets on the show, you know?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that is pretty wild. And like, if I were in charge of casting, I would never do that.
Yeah,
I would make it a smaller cast and be like, okay, we're getting rid of these
right,
2 guys, you know? I
right,
just
right.
because and here's why, people who've played games together, that's one thing. Like, you're never gonna escape having that. Surviving
Right.
Maine has escaped having that, but not the past 2 seasons.
It's hard because like once you get
Yeah,
once you get the bug, you just want to play more. So I feel like you
yeah,
just keep applying. That's what happened to me.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but like, your really close friend in real life is completely different from a person
yeah.
you played a game with, especially when there's so much pre-gaming involved in what they did. When you're not going to
Yes.
pre-game, like, most people who play LRGs have a lot of respect for the integrity of these games, and they
Right.
don't pre-game with each other. They might know, like,
No,
oh,
like
I know this
Allison and I had,
person. Yeah.
yeah, Allison and I had no idea we were playing. Like that never,
Mhm.
like, you know,
And
never
even
came
people
up.
who do, though, like, they'll see a cast list beforehand and be like, oh, cool, I know this person, maybe we'll get to work together. And
Right.
then, it's like a loose thing, like, okay, maybe we can work together. But it's
And
not
there were
like,
some
a
people that I
month.
played out last with that I
Who
wouldn't
did
work
that?
with.
Yeah.
Just
Yes,
saying.
yes, yes. Everyone, obviously. But it's different when you're spending months talking to your roommates about, okay, we're gonna keep this secret no matter what, we're not telling anyone, even if we
Mhm.
make jury, we're not telling anyone, and we're just gonna vote for our friend no matter what if they're in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I
Yeah.
didn't even think, yeah.
So, okay, I got us way off track because I wanted to know your opinions on all that stuff. But you get voted out, okay, and it's is it
With,
is it the oh it's the next morning,
yeah.
and yeah, it's the first thing that morning. Okay. Um and you find out something after you get voted out. How did you feel when you saw the thing that's telling you have a second chance in this game?
Oh, I didn't even hesitate. Like I didn't even hesitate. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, well, hell yeah. Like I didn't drive 4 hours to like not to just give up, and it helped knowing that there were other people there too, because I like it said like so I was like, oh, and I was afraid to see Madison. I was like, oh my God, Madison, but she left, so she
Yeah.
didn't end up staying. So yeah, so that was cool. It was a nice surprise for sure. Yeah, I was excited. And I didn't really stay there long because then they shoved
Right.
us in the brush with like Tick Haven, but
I
for
so
hours.
this footage is missing. Addison lost this footage. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Someone, I don't know who, lost this footage of you arriving at Exile. And so what happened? Did you were you like so upset that you didn't play your idol? Like, what were you telling people?
Oh, I was so mad because it's funny because I'm like, should I play it just to play it? Because Merge is a whole new game,
Yeah.
and I was like, at least it'll get me to Merge, and that's was my goal because then it's an individual game. And I'm like, but I trusted Seth so much. Like I really trusted him. And it's stupid, like, especially during Tribal when Liza was asking him, like, does this, it has a lot to do with trust. And do you feel like you were betrayed? And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, but I'm so naive. My mom always told me that. I'm wicked naive. And I just really trusted him because I was truly Sebago strong, and I felt justified about voting Madison out because she wasn't staying Sebago strong, you know?
Yeah. No,
So,
yeah. It
but
makes
I was,
when you put it that way, it makes sense.
yeah. So I really was Sebago strong, and I had no intention of voting any other Sebago members out. Um, and damn it. And then it's funny because when Liza got the votes and she picked one up and she goes, oh, wait a minute. How do I want to do this? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like,
Red
and I'm like,
flag
is it too late? You know, I didn't say that, but I'm thinking, by then I figured it's too late because she already but she didn't read them yet. But I should have tried.
You should have tried, yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, I know it's me. When she wanted to readjust, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I am glad Adam didn't flip. And they probably didn't tell Adam since they knew me and Adam were tight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't. Because I know that some people saw you and him as a pair, and then you, him, and Zach, they saw as a tight 3. So
yeah.
Okay, so you go to exile.
So I get to exile.
You're like there for 10, 15 minutes. Did you get a warm
Yeah, that was fun. I talked the whole time. Like it was just me talking the whole time, going over exactly what happened. And they didn't even know Madison got voted out because I was like, I expected. Yeah, they didn't know Madison got voted out until I got there because they're like, oh my God, and then I got Lauren's story about Zach voting her out, and she was really upset. And I'm like, oh my God, and I still don't know the full story on that. So, because I just have Lauren's side of it. I haven't really talked to Zach. So, yeah. So it was, they did I'm glad I wasn't there long because they were like peeing in a bucket and I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they had it rough. I think they all had a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it seems it. Yeah. Yeah. Mary did a good job.
Yeah, the camp looked really nice.
Yeah.
So then you guys are like crouching in the woods for way too long, getting covered in ticks.
Poor Lauren I don't know if you've spoken with her yet, but she was having a full-blown panic attack. I felt so bad for her. And see that my heart like gets the best of me. Like I see a girl crying, even a guy, see a guy or a girl crying, it breaks my heart. I'm like, that's why I didn't vote Amelia. I'm like, she's so upset. I can't vote her out, and I shouldn't think with my heart, but poor Lauren, she, we literally were picking off like 5 ticks at a time off of us. Like, it's like it was so bad. And then I had this bright red baseball cap on and they're telling me to crouch, but I'm like, I can't. I don't know what at this point, I didn't know what the challenge was. I'm like, I'm not going to crouch for 45 minutes because then my legs are going to be out. So I'm like, I'll crouch when I have to. And then Mary's yelling at me. She's like, haven't you ever went deer hunting before? And I was like, do I look like a deer hunter? Do I? I'm definitely not.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was hell in that. That was the worst part of the whole weekend, was having to be in that. They're like, oh, it's all cleared, and no, it's not clear. It's not clear at all.
Sandra, it's so funny, like the difference between the Massachusetts people and the Maine people. Like the Maine people are so wild. They're people of the woods and they go hunting, and like the Massachusetts people are like, I live in the suburbs or a city and I don't know what you're talking about. Please stop. Like it's so funny. I want a tribe of Mainers and a tribe of massholes. Oh my God, that would be really fun.
That would be fun. That's a good idea. I like that.
Mainers versus massholes.
For sure.
There'd be like a traffic challenge where like the people from Massachusetts. Yeah. Oh damn. Okay. So you do this challenge with the wobbly boards and the blocks. Were you excited to see that challenge at least? Because it's pretty cool to have in an LRG, I thought.
It was really cool. I was nervous because I shake anyways, like just I don't know, maybe it's age, I have no idea, but I don't have a steady hand, so I was nervous, but I was just like, psyching myself up, just like focus. And I don't know if you have to edit this part out, but when I was walking towards the challenge, Zach told me, he's like, go for purple. Oh. I didn't know why he was telling me to go to the purple at that point. And I'm like, okay, got it. And he's like pointing to Allison's shirt and he's like, purple. I'm like, I got it. Shh. So we go walking over And I immediately go to purple. I'm like, I want purple. It's my favorite color, and everybody's like looking at me and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I still don't know why he's telling me purple. And then Lance is like, oh, we're drawing for spots. So you have to like pick a number or whatever. I'm like, I'll get 5. I know I will. And I'm like, well, guys, just give me purple, please. I need the luck. I draw 1, which is great. I'm like, I never have that kind of luck. And I'm like, sweet, I'm taking purple. So I still don't know why. I'm like, they all look the freaking same to me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Kaya comes over and she's like, we need to remeasure. Purple is closer than all the rest.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, shit. Like, so now I look like an asshole. I'm asshole. So I'm like, oh, so I'm wondering, like, that's probably, because Zach won that. Well, I know he won the top 5 in that. I'm like, oh, so he didn't have, but they caught on because they reprogrammed it. So it was even. I'm like, damn it. So, yeah. So, it took me a minute to figure out how to even keep the freaking tray straight. Like the first time I grabbed the rope, it was like going around in circles. And I'm like, yikes. Oh my God. Yeah, it was hard to even like get it steady at first. But then I did good. And it's just like, you just keep listening. Like, I think it was Kiefer, oh, he's got 4 or he's got 3. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to pick it up. And yeah, it was Lauren and I neck and neck. And I think she just was like 1 or 2 steps ahead of me. So I was trying to like, I had the 5th one on and I'm just like trying to take bigger steps and then fell.
Wow.
So yeah, but I did good. It was bad. Like,
yeah, you were
I
kind
did better
of
than
like
I thought.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would have if I took my time, but I was trying to catch her. I don't know if that counts, but counts to me.
Wow. All right. So how did you feel at that point? Losing.
I was happy for Lauren, actually. I was really happy for Lauren because she almost quit. Like,
yeah,
I think if they made us sit in those woods for another 30 seconds, because she was tapping out because she's like, I can't do it. I want to quit. And we were all like, don't quit. I'm like, like we all were talking her up, we're like, don't quit. It's just a few more seconds. We got this, like, and she didn't quit, so I was actually really happy for her.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So overall, how would you say this experience was, in general or compared to other games you've played?
Well, I've only played one other game, so it's
okay
to compare it to. Well, how do I do this without getting people pissed off at me? But but I've already told half of them anyway. So I feel like this game was more inclusive. Like, and I mean inclusive, like my pregame interview with you, you said, don't lie about your age, if you remember. I did remember. I did not lie about my age. Right. And I honestly felt like it would, like you said, it was never a factor, ever. Whereas I feel like in Outlast, even though they say it wasn't a factor, I believe it was. Like, they still tell me it was never a factor. Don't ever do it. Yeah, it was. I got David on friggin' video. So, and that's what I mean by inclusive. Like, I think everybody really started off, except for the 4 roommates, started off equal. Yeah. And it just really didn't matter. Like, and I really liked that, about, it was fun. I mean, they're both equal as far as like, they were a lot of fun, of fun. Yeah. And Liza's a great host. I felt like I was always getting yelled at though.
Yelled at? Who was yelling?
Yeah, because I felt like I was me, like not in like. Well, she yelled at me for the chapstick thing. That was my whole point of the chapstick. Yeah,
wait. So what happened with the chapstick? You never told that what happened with that
story.
Yeah.
So Dave had Tylenol. Okay, so I kept getting headaches. So he was supplying me with Tylenol. And that was approved. Okay, like I think she knew that he had the Tylenol. And at one point, I think Dave said, now this is when we were on separate tribes. So I was on Sebago. He was on Flagship. Is that what it's Flag?
Yeah. Flagstaff.
I said flagship the whole weekend, Flagstaff. So he had asked someone, oh, I wish I had chapstick or something. My lips are getting burned. And I said, oh, I have something for my lips. And they're like, what? And so he's like, well, I'll give you Tylenol for the chapstick. I'm like, okay. So it was a community chapstick. At this point, like, it didn't matter. We were like, slopping up everything for crying out loud. So he's using the chapstick, and Liza saw him and goes, where'd you get the chapstick? And so he's like, he didn't throw me under the bus. He just like sat there and he's like, someone gave it to me. And she's like, no chapstick allowed. So I'm like, it's my chapstick. I said, and you approved it. I know. I said, I asked if I could take the chapstick. No. And I said, no chapstick. And I go, but you didn't. You said yes to the chapstick. I said, no chapstick.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, and I'm like almost crying because I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting yelled at. And so I feel like an idiot and everybody's looking and I'm like, I swear to God, you said yes. She's like, you need to give me the chapstick. And at this point, the challenge is over. So everybody's walking away. And so when I went up to hand it to her, I go, Liza, I asked you when I got here and you told me I could have it. And she's like, I said yes. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And she's like, okay, just keep it. To keep the chapstick. I'm like,
oh, shit.
Yeah. But I was always talking. So like, it was always like, pay attention or like, I don't know, stuff like that. Or like, even when I was voted out, I'm like trying out the challenges and they're like, put it down. The tribe's coming. And I'm like, okay, I need to just sit down and mind my own business. Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was in a fun way getting yelled at. I'm not like, what? But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So obviously you would do this again. You're playing. You're playing. I know this podcast will come out way later, but you're playing Can You Survive in a few weeks.
I am. Yes, in July.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's not a secret because you got to raise money. So I've been posting it on Facebook, anyways. And there is one other one that Can I tell you?
Yeah. Why not?
Are you playing? Oh no, you can't play any games anyways.
I'm not playing anything.
Oh yeah, and this is coming out after, right?
Yeah, it'll be next summer probably.
Okay, so I'm doing Survivor Angelica as well.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know a few people who played that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave actually played that.
Where do they do that? Where is that filmed?
New York.
Oh,
it's like a 7-hour drive. I'm not looking forward to that part.
Upstate. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Buffalo or something. Yeah, it's far. So yeah. So I mean, because after Outlast, I had so much fun. Then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna apply to them all. And I literally applied to like 4 or 5 games and I got accepted to all of them. And I'm like, fuck.
You didn't realize they all need women.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Now I know. So it's like, so I had to say no because some were like at the same time. I got accepted to Pennsylvania, which was the same time as CYS. So I had to tell them no. And I can't remember. There was another one too. I don't remember which one, but yeah. So now I know only 1 or 2 tops to apply.
Yeah, and how about so this was your first one of the year, right?
Yes.
How about like the emotional toll it takes? Are you like pretty okay with that? Because let me just say, when I played one LRG ever, it was about a month ago, maybe 2 months now.
Oh, yes. The Big Brother one that I was supposed to do, but I had something that weekend.
Shit. It would have been you and me, Sandra.
I know.
But so on the last day, I was like considering dropping out of Can You Survive? Like I had no choice. Now I had to drop out. But like at that point, I was like, I don't know if I can do this again. Like this was so much. Do you feel that? Or are you just like game bot, like I'm ready for the next one?
Yeah, I think I'm game bot. I don't feel emotionally drained. I feel tired and like, hungry. But I mean, it was hard when you start seeing people crying and stuff, that part bothers me, and then it takes a toll on me, and then I don't play smart. I play,
With your heart.
with my heart. And but yeah, I don't know. I get more excited about it. Like I'm just excited to play, and then until you get sideswiped and blindsided, and then you're like, you motherfuckers. No.
I mean,
But it's a game.
yeah.
Like I don't, you get upset, obviously. Like, damn it, I was telling the truth when I said I had your back. But it's a game. Like you can't, and I think some people take it really personally, but I don't really, it doesn't affect, is that bad? It doesn't really affect me emotionally?
No, I mean, that makes sense. And there are a lot of people who don't take these things personally. I don't think I would have taken it personally if I had been voted out. I wasn't, but but like I think you're an extrovert and you like being around people, and the introverted people have a much harder time, I think.
Yes, for sure. And it's funny you say that, because a few people, who was it? I don't even remember who I was talking to, but it was someone that was introvert, because they said the same thing. Like they're not used to being. Seth said it, at one point. He was like, he's not a people person. It definitely was him. He was like, he's not a people person. He finds it hard to connect with people and talk to people. And yeah, if you're not a people person, I mean, I am, like bartend. Well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to like I talk.
Yeah.
And so, and I work from home, so I don't get to connect with people. So like when I'm, what I mean? So like when I'm around people, it's like just word diarrhea. I'm like, because I don't, only my dogs. Like I don't talk to anybody else all day.
Oh man. Yeah. I work from home too, and I love it so much. I don't need to see anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love it. I would never change it, but it's, I do miss the camaraderie of coworkers.
Yeah, I don't at all. But I mean, sometimes I just, but I don't miss going into the office and having to talk to people, really.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, so you're definitely playing more. You're probably going to play like every year for the rest of your life now.
I know. I'm so afraid. I'm like, how old do I, what? I need to get them all in before I get too old and like break a hip or something,
Well, how old? You're like 50 something, right?
I'll be 55 in July.
Okay, you have at least, I would say, 10 to 20 years.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. And you have at least 10 years minimum, I would say. Like,
oh my God. My father's all worried. He's 92 and he's like, I don't understand why you have to do these. You're going to get hurt. You're going to break a hip. I'm like, nah.
No. I mean, maybe it is a little dangerous, but anyone could get hurt. It's not.
Yeah, anyone can. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like I'm the only one that like outlast. There's 7 people puking, and I'm like, well, I'm not so it's like, I'm not puking. I'm not getting sick. I'm handling it well.
You've got that athleticism. I see you doing this when you're like 67, and then you're like, you win, and you're like, I'm going to retire now from LRG.
Like, I do want to win. I want to make merch, like, and then like, but I want to win. Like, that's top, obviously. But I'll be happy making merch as well.
So your track record is already great, because you've done a little bit better this time than you did your first time. So now your next one, you just need to like one placement higher each time.
Right, I know.
And it'll only take like 5 years.
Jesus. And I have confidence now. Like, yeah, I knew I was good at puzzles, but I wasn't sure how I would do under pressure, because I don't do well under pressure in anything. Like, even like with my job, like, I know like my dog's about to knock my laptop over. So it's like, I have confidence now that I did. I mean, it was Zach and I mostly on the puzzle. So it was a team effort. I'm not taking that from him at all. Sure. But it's like, we really did well together on the puzzles. And I feel like we both had a lot of input. So now that I know that, yeah, I can do it. Because like, I went in thinking, I'm not going to be good at anything, So the fact that like, on the balance thing that Lauren won. I didn't do too bad. I didn't win,
Yeah.
but I wasn't last either. I did
Yeah.
okay, you know. So in the puzzles, I did okay. And oh my gosh, and the shooting thing, I got that on my first try.
No way.
Yeah, my first try. You know,
Have you
so it was
shot
like
BB guns before?
Nerf guns.
Yeah, wow. So that I wouldn't even
Yeah,
say
I
it
mean,
counts. Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't think it counts. I did shoot it. Shot once, like last year, and I actually did really well, but it was like the only time, and nobody could. It was like some at some Elks Club in Mass or something, and
Yeah.
you know, it was like for charity, and I think I came in second place there, and I had never, you know, you get all these like, you know, lumberjacks and shit, and then there's me, and I came in second place. I'm like, I have no idea because I don't know anything about BB gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that I know that I can probably do shit, like,
Yeah.
I think, and then you learn every game you learn, like, you know, like this. Outlast taught me always look for idols at the challenges, like be a little bit more aggressive with your making alliances, like don't wait.
And you did
So
those
that
things.
I
Yeah.
did do those things and it definitely helped. So now it's like, now I'm telling myself, go in being more alert, like mindful, and, you know, always be on alert. Don't get too
You're
comfortable.
heartless. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Don't feel bad for people. You passing out, you're out.
Oh no.
Not feeling bad for you, Amelia.
Oh man.
Yeah. So.
Well,
But
is
I
that
definitely did Liza tell.
what?
So I had totally ate my words, which this is totally going to make the edit. I know it will, because my Real Housewives tagline. Did they send that to you?
No. What is this? Tell me about this.
Totally, because they were like, Liza's like, this is going on the Instagram reels. Like it was like, so I thought they were taking a picture and they were doing a video. And so like I posed like this, right? And I don't know if it was Brandon or Addison, but they were like, no, we're videoing. I'm like, oh, I was doing my Real Housewives pose. Right? So Jess is like, oh, well, what's your tagline? And it was right after we voted out Madison. So I totally ate these words. I don't even want to say them now.
Oh,
and
no.
I go, my tagline is double cross me, bitch, and you're going home.
I'm Sandra. And listen, don't even think about double crossing me, bitch, or you're going home.
And I voted out next. So
Boy,
that doesn't make the.
Put those words in the mouth of Seth.
Yeah, right? I know. Totally should. I totally ate them. I was like, damn. But it was funny when they videoed that. It took like 3 takes because
no shit.
So at that point it wasn't on point because I was like practicing, but yeah.
Funny. That's funny. Okay, so it must have been Brandon. That must have been, you said Brandon or Addison. So I'll have to look.
I think it was Brandon. It was Brandon. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely Brandon.
He's been sending me a lot of footage, so I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Sandra, what else?
Yes.
Anything that we missed?
Oh God. Let's see. I don't think so. I'm sure I'll think of something when I hang up and I'll be like, wait a minute. It was just so good. I was just so mad.
Yeah.
So mad I didn't play my idol. But
yeah, that's like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the worst way to go out, but you probably have more regrets than other people, or more feeling that you could have done something different.
Right. Definitely. But on the I try and like focus on the positive. Like, okay, they saw me as a threat. They saw me as a threat. Me, the goat from Outlast, me that like literally was just skating, to the merge, like with nobody. At that point, nobody was even considering me. It was like, and going into Maine and being considered a threat. Like,
yeah,
okay, y'all take the blind side. Like, whatever. Like. I'm happy with the way I played, even though I didn't make merge.
Yeah, you played better this time, and you're just gonna get better. So I'm looking
Right.
forward
That's
to
how I looked
seeing-
at it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your Can You Survive and your Angelica seasons to see if you
Yeah.
make
So were you
through it.
going to play Can You Survive?
Yeah, the blood versus water season.
Oh,
Yeah, I was playing with my
okay.
wife, and so yeah, now I can't.
That sucks.
Yeah. I'm getting surgery on the 22nd, so I'll just barely be like learning how to walk on my leg by the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, but it gives me time to work on Surviving Maine season 4. So there's that.
Yes. I can't imagine. I can't even make a regular video. I have no idea. I'm surprised I was able to get on Zoom. Like, it's like, I have no idea.
I taught myself, like I just watched YouTube videos on how to use the software and stuff, and I guess I like storytelling, so I found it fun
Yeah.
and easy, and I already make music, so that part is the funner part for me, is making the music.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have a
Yeah,
good
I guess
time
it would
with
help if I had the software. I don't have
Yeah.
any software, so that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
why I can't do it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. It was really fun to talk to you and hear all your whole story of the game.
Yeah, it was fun. It was so much fun.
Awesome.
And it was a great experience. Everybody was amazing. You know,
It's a good bunch.
yeah, it is a great bunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
love George, loved Liza, Kaya, everyone, Brandon. I can't name them all. Sorry if I
Yeah,
forgot
there-
anybody. But
There were so
yeah,
many
they're all
this
awesome.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
was
right
great.
on. Well, I guess
Yeah.
we will speak again in the future, and you can look forward to
Yes.
watching these episodes either in the winter or next summer, depending on when I finish.
Yeah. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Yeah,
It
it'll
was
be
so
good.
much fun.
I promise. it'll
Thank
be
you.
good.
And thank you for all you do in
Of
your
course.
time.
Of course. All right,
All
Sandra.
right. Good luck, and good luck with your surgery.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Taylor.